Ain't no sunshine when she's gone. Ain't no sunshine when she's gone home. She's wrong. Somebody better do the words.
As far as behavioral, I'm not a psychiatrist, but the feeling is different in a women's unit.
What's going on, Miss Crockett? Staying out of trouble?
Of course. Why would I not?
I'm just asking.
I'm a good girl.
Okay.
Good girls stay out of trouble.
Really?
She a Vegas baby and I beat her.
Bitch, I'll go to prison anyway. Get out of my face, bitch! You get out of my face! Damn what?
Women are different from men in that our crimes are crimes of passion or necessity. I don't care if we sell our butt. I don't care if we sell drugs. We will take care of our children. That is our job. Women take care of the house.
They feel this is their house. This is our house.
Let your mama raise you, because you don't want the police to raise you.
I want to be in here.
Now listen up.
Before prison,
This is jail.
there's jail, where guilt or innocence hangs in the balance. And each day brings you one step closer to your fate. During 1 year, National Geographic followed the lives of officers and inmates in the city of Las Vegas. For a jail that sees nearly 80,000 arrestees each year, you never know who's coming in next.
Put your chest on the wall.
This is the world of hard time.
I'm originally from New York, but I grew up out here. I don't know if I really want to stay in Vegas. It's a bad state.
Las Vegas is a city and a state of mind. High rolling, high stakes, and for some, just plain high. On any given Saturday, hundreds of people are arrested in Las Vegas, and the majority of those are booked here at the Clark County Detention Center, the CCDC. On average, 85% of suspects are men and 15% are women. CCDC is a co-ed jail. Male and female inmates are housed under one roof, separated by mere floors, but worlds apart. From affection to aggression. For women, jail is a world of extremes, a trial by fire as they await their day in court.
You can make it easy time or you can make it hard time. I think you learn a lot of tolerance and patience being in jail. And if you don't, it's gonna suck for you.
For a young offender, the Vegas jail is treacherous terrain, particularly for somebody with a background like Dana Vernola.
I wasn't in a gang, I was just affiliated. It's just not a good gang to be affiliated with. They have a lot of enemies.
Dana quickly learned to keep her gang ties on the down low, to play it safe, to play a role.
I'm gonna listen to this woman. I seen her around. I'm just gonna play my little role, sit on my bunk for a few days.
This woman was Tess Collins, the dorm's resident jail mom.
First night I came here, you wouldn't have come up and talked to me like that. I don't know how far I would have run with. Do you know what I mean?
You got a little edge on her, a little hard edge a little bit, right?
She really wanted a mommy. She really wanted her mommy, but she can't have her mommy, so she acted out until she got a mommy.
Dana was taken under a jailbird's protective wing. Tess has spent much of her adult life behind bars on a litany of drug charges. Among dealers in Vegas, she was a queen pin.
Tess has been around. She's from the street. Like, I'm not used to being in jail. And I don't know how everything in the system works. She's someone that you can confide in. She's not judgmental.
She's already got prison gang tattoos all over her. Get that off you and get a life. You're beautiful. She could be in movies. She could do anything. So she needs to do that, because I couldn't. I didn't. I've always been high on whatever. It doesn't matter. My drug of choice is any.
Tess's criminal past spans 3 states, 3 decades, and every drug she could get her hands on.
I'm a drug addict that does not like to pay for her drugs. I got a big habit, so I go big. Do I deserve to be in prison? Hell yeah. Hell yeah.
A life of hard drugs and hard time cost Tess her children.
My kids, they're not in my life because I chose the game over my kids. I mean, basically, I abandoned my kids. When the first street kid called me mom, it clicked something in me, and it made me want to represent my own kids through them. There was this little girl that looked exactly like my daughter, and every time she would go to sleep, I would just sit up in my bunk and I'd be like looking at her, watching her sleep. And it affected me in such a way that it changed me forever.
You can't say no. I will be able to say no. If I don't, then my kids need to be taken away from me forever.
I'm finally able to cry about my kids. I would have never been able to do that. Now I can feel. I'm starting to be able to feel. So through helping them, I'm helping me.
Becoming a jail mom has given Tess Collins a shot at redemption and maybe a path to recovery on the outside. She's pleaded guilty to her latest drug charge and hopes to bail out of jail for a few months before turning herself in to serve 3 to 7 years in the Nevada State Pen. Those hopes rest on finding a bondsman trusting or foolish enough to take a gamble on a career criminal. In the meantime, though, Tess has her girls to look after.
I believe that people know if they come and talk to me, the girls here, especially the younger ones, it's usually because they're gonna get real talk. I want them to hurt, I want them to feel it, I want them to know what that pain is so they're not having it 20 years down the line like me. Because if they stop crying while they're in jail, they're coming back to jail. When they start having too much fun, that's when I step in and say, check this out.
I am just that lovable best friend person. You're just like, oh, you have to be around her because she's just too funny.
My milkshake brings all the boys to the yard.
We gotta let it flow and just basically just chill. So that's what this is like a mini vacation, but a hell vacation.
For Denise Crockett's, hell is the 3rd floor of the North Tower of the CCDC, in a closed custody unit of the women's jail. Inmates here carry heavy charges. And unlikely as it may seem, Crockett's, whose nickname is Pinky, is as notorious as they come.
It just really hit the news and the paper really big. And, you know, we get the paper and we watch the news in here. And, you know, some people that know me that was already in here were like, nah, that ain't her. No, that is not Pinky. No, that can't be Pinky.
With a screwdriver.
No, she's not charged with that.
According to police reports, Crockett stabbed Maupin with a screwdriver. She's behind bars facing murder charges.
Pinky had gotten into a brawl with her best friend and allegedly stabbed her to death, a charge to which she has pleaded not guilty. If convicted, she faces 20 to life. With her trial weeks away, her lawyer has advised her not to discuss details of her case, but that hasn't kept her cellmates from talking.
I mean, a lot of people were talking about it in the vent. Some of my bunkies, like, they'll be like, oh, they'll be cool with me in my face, and the next minute they're telling the CO, it's like, oh, I can't be in the room with her. She's in here for murder.
It's a rare charge for a female inmate, and everywhere Crockett's goes, the whispers and rumors follow.
It went from what my charges originally saying that I stabbed my best friend with a screwdriver in her jugular vein. The whole story changed from that to a whole bunch of different incidents. Stabbing her 37 times with a steak knife. Got to where the point was that they were saying that I threw my best friend in the dumpster.
If Crockett's tries to correct the record, to dispel the rumors, she may unwittingly give the prosecution a witness against her, a jailhouse snitch. In jail, fighting a murder charge means fighting the urge to talk back. And for Pinky, it means fighting back her emotions.
And I'm out in the module, I don't cry about my charge. I cry all the time in my room, you know, and it's like it hurts, you know, it just sucks to be in here. Once they click them doors, my face is washed and I'm out there bouncing around, and singing and dancing, you know, making everybody laugh, and it's like it never happened.
Pinky may portray herself as the cell block's class clown, but her choices in jail have serious consequences. Her behavior in here may be used for or against her in court. The stakes could not be higher for her or her family on the outside, especially her 2-year-old daughter.
Nobody's worth my child you know, her growing up, and nobody's worth my freedom, so I need, you know, to keep it together. You know, if I gotta make my tongue bleed, I'm going to, you know?
But in the Vegas jail, biting your tongue is easier said than done, particularly on the 3rd floor of the North Tower.
Get out of my face, bitch! You get out of my face! Now what? I'm not one bit of scared of you, bitch!
Violence can explode anywhere, at any time.
He's holding on me, telling me to move the hell out the way! I wasn't doing anything!
The North Tower of the Clark County Detention Center is home to some of Las Vegas's most violent women.
The North Tower inmates are going to be your harder core inmates. They could be their 20th time in jail for maybe soliciting, which is maybe a minor charge, but every time they come in, they get in trouble or get in fights and everything else, they could be classified as a North Tower inmate.
Whether they're in for violence on the outside or violence in jail, or both, North Tower inmates make for a volatile mix.
Do you consider yourself an aggressive person?
Yeah. I am.
So what happens when you put an aggressive person in a room full of drama?
Lights out.
Of the 6 women's modules in the North Tower, F-Tank is in a class by itself.
F-Tank has a reputation throughout the entire jail as being the up tank. I was amazed when I first came here and saw people who have already been to prison, who have done hard time in other states, still come here and say that this facility is by far the roughest they've ever been in.
Fights may be a way of life in F-Tank, but Rosemary Vandekar has managed to stay above the fray. In all her months here, she has not had a single disciplinary review and has earned worker status, and with it, freedom of movement across the entire women's module.
As I got to be here longer and got to know people better, we started saying good morning by your name and how are you today? And those little things made a huge difference because we mattered for that moment. We just try to do what we can to take care of each other. And so I guess they have come to look up, or look to, or look with, to look with me.
In the conflict zone that is the women's jail, Rosemary fashions herself a peacekeeper. Her life on the outside prepared her well for the role.
I had a background as an executive director of an organization that helped as mediators between attorneys and courts and procedures, and a background in restorative justice, helping people stay out of prison and stay out of jail. And here I am.
Rosemary was arrested for first-degree murder, accused of strangling a 69-year-old man to death, a man for whom she worked as a live-in caregiver. If she's convicted, she faces life without parole.
I am here on a murder charge and have never been in trouble in my life. So it's still difficult for me to understand how it got to this point. And here I am in this, and this is what I've seen. And not being able to see the sunshine, feel the fresh air on your face. It's different. It's, sorry. And most of my world doesn't know. They don't even know if I'm still alive because I have no way to communicate because they took everything. I literally don't even have a picture of me anymore. I have nothing left of my family.
2 years after her alleged crime, 2 years waiting for the state to build its case against her, the women's jail at the CCDC may be the closest thing Rosemary has to a family. She has become something of a den mother to the younger inmates, like Denise Crockett's.
It's Psalm 39 where it says, I will muzzle my mouth in the presence of the wicked.
Rosemary. That is my jailhouse mom. I love her dearly.
No, much better, much better. And sometimes you're a better leader when this is close. Some people affectionately call me jail mom here. A lot of inmates do turn to me now, I guess for a couple of reasons. I'm older and I've been here the longest. So good, bad, or indifferent, this is some sort of stability or continuity that we have on the floor because they're expecting me to be an ass. That's the problem. Yeah. Don't give them what they want. Okay. Don't give them what they want.
Any problems that I get or I cry and I'm upset, can you go get Rosemary? Guards will go get, Rosemary and I'll talk to her and I'll be okay after that. After that, we'll be fine, It's just like she's that one that's just an apple in everybody's eye that just walks around and just be like, she's everybody's angel.
Not everybody's.
Who loves you?
You do, of course.
Vandekar, she's intelligent. I think she's good at playing the victim, because I think of her demeanor and, she's an elderly woman, so not many people will suspect her as the tank boss or the ringleader, so I think she plays the part well.
Rosemary's crazy. She's senile. She's conspiracy theory queen. Yeah.
Crazy or crazy like a fox, jail mom or tank boss. At the Clark County Jail, Rosemary has made herself influential and worse, comfortable.
When the inmates are feeling comfortable, they just feel like this is home, and it should never feel like home.
You get comfortable, then everybody gets comfortable, and that's when bad things can happen.
The jail mom is about to learn, as far as the jail is concerned, there can be only one authority figure behind bars. Rosemary Vandekar is in for a shakedown. At the Clark County Detention Center in Las Vegas, Nevada, convicted drug dealer Tess Collins hears the magic words.
151 Collins, roll it up. Yes.
Oh, I'm gonna cry.
She's getting out of jail, temporarily. She's posted bail.
Bye, you guys. Don't I will up.
She'll have about 2 months to get her affairs in order before she begins a 3-year minimum sentence for drug trafficking.
Last time I was released, the DEA, FBI, ATF, you name it, was following me. Every 3-letter word known to man was following me because I was doing the most.
Discharge from the Vegas County Jail is a well-worn path for Tess.
I have been released from Clark County Detention Center 22 times.
Tammy Collins. She plans to stay in a halfway house on the outside. She plans to stay out of trouble.
I gotta get in a halfway house, get to a meeting, just get connected. Get connected to sobriety.
But she knows what's waiting for her.
A long little strip, and then one more door that goes out to freedom.
Vegas is waiting.
And then it's just chaos. You can either go right and go get in trouble. You can go left and really get into some trouble. You can just stay right there and wait for your ride.
She doesn't have to wait long.
Hi. Yeah.
For Tess, bailing out of jail means reuniting with old friends.
Oh, and my baby. Yeah, baby.
And the only family she has left on the outside. Her dogs Nacho and Bella. And it means saying farewell to her girls on the inside.
Bye, bitches! I love you, bitches! God bless you!
Go. Come on, before they arrest me.
In the North Tower of the CCDC, in a closed custody unit of the women's jail, nobody is bailing out anytime soon. Least of all Denise Crockett's and Rosemary Vandekar. They're both in for murder. Crockett's, whose nickname is Pinky, wants to talk to her jail mom in the adjoining module, but the officers won't permit it.
I just missed my daughter's second birthday, and I want to talk to Rosemary. Most of the time, COs don't have a problem with it, but I guess it's today, today's been hectic, so they're just like, no, we're gonna, chill out on a lot of things.
What Pinky doesn't know, the officers are preparing for a shakedown, and their target is Rosemary.
As a worker, you're out all the time. You get to see the operations, how we respond to codes, everything. And I think knowing that information can be very powerful and very dangerous in the wrong hands.
A tip from an inmate to an officer finds its way to Floor Sergeant Siciliano. And for Rosemary, the fix is in.
This man busted in on the floor and started yelling, and that's what kind of woke me up. He said he was a sergeant, didn't introduce himself or anything, but he was just screaming at me. He trashed my room, tore it apart.
So I got to inmate Vandekar's cell, and while I was inspecting her cell, I found a list on a sheet of paper documenting all the officers who work this post, what time they come in, how they run the unit, what rules they enforce, how long they spend in the module office, and basically their routine.
It wasn't some great big scandalous document. It was a little piece of paper that said, this is the schedules, and these are the key officers that run the linen. That was it. Part of my job was overseeing chemicals, overseeing linens, helping do setup and takedown on chow. I mean, there's a lot of things to go there. So when every guard's got their different rules, there's a lot of stuff to keep track of. I was trying to explain to him is that I've never been in trouble.
Like, how could you do this to me? I've been diligent for 2 years. 2 years, no write-ups? Strange. But again, I attribute that to her being, she's smart.
So he came back upstairs again and told me I was no longer a worker. They compliment me 1 week for being organized and then turn around and fault me for being organized. It's kind of laughable, but it's sad. It's sad.
Once she was relieved of her position, I had inmates coming to me, thanking me, saying, thank you, Sarge, for taking care of that. She's out of control. I'm like, well, how? They wouldn't say anything, they'd clam up, but it's kind of weird when you have other inmates thanking you for doing your job.
I'll bounce back. I always do. It'll be a while before I trust somebody in uniform.
Rosemary will soon get a chance to bounce back in court. Finally, after months of wrangling between her lawyers and the DA's office, she's gotten her trial date. It's 10 weeks away. She'll spend that time in a new tank, Pinky's. But jail mom and daughter have been assigned to opposite floors. While the second floor inmates are out on rec, those on the first floor must remain in their cells. So Rosemary can only listen when the commotion begins outside.
That's Pink. There she goes, let me guess.
Another fight has broken out. It stopped almost as soon as it started. But for Pinky, there will be consequences. At the Clark County Jail in Las Vegas, Denise Crockett, a 21-year-old accused of killing her best friend in the heat of a violent argument, seems to have snapped again. But she says she was provoked.
You trying to talk to your family and you sit here trying to get on the phone waiting for somebody to be quiet.
She was trying to reach her 2-year-old daughter on the phone when the altercation started.
Next thing you know, she get to popping off at the mouth. And as soon as she popped off at the mouth, we started fighting. I'm gonna flash hard. I'm the one that just shut up and don't say nothing to her. Just shut up, don't say nothing, okay? Now I'm getting sick of you because now I'm trying to talk to my child and you running off at the mouth. What room, ladies?
Now she's headed for 6J, the hole.
I was not completely surprised to see Denise brought to disciplinary, but I was surprised that she wasn't calming down, knowing that she was going to be going to court soon.
You don't know how bad I want to beat the dog out of her some more.
You're digging yourself a bigger hole to stop.
I'm sick of it.
You're letting her control you. Crockett already told you that.
I am not the one to keep getting but you keep throwing my charge in my face, bitch, okay? Like I tell her.
No, that's not the point. The point is you're pissed off as all hell right now. Once you calm down.
The only person who seems capable of getting through to Crockett's is Segregation Unit Officer Butler. They're well acquainted.
And yeah, you're gonna have to be here 24 hours before you make a phone call. But listen, you will make a phone call.
Okay. My background, my childhood is not that much different from a lot of these women in here. And I made the conscious choice that I wanted a different life. And unfortunately, she didn't make the choice soon enough before somebody was really hurt and unfortunately killed.
And I just try to not think of that day at all. I would never, picture myself being in here over like something like this. And like something, especially with somebody I kicked it with on a daily basis. So there's just no words for it.
No words, but guilty. Denise Crockett has decided to take a plea on a lesser charge, voluntary manslaughter. The plea calls for 2 to 20 years in prison, giving the judge wide latitude in considering her sentence.
Every day I keep thinking, okay, I'm a day closer to sentencing, and I'm like, how am I gonna handle myself? Am I gonna be, that one to just get angry and, say something that I'm not supposed to say, or, that's gonna show the judge like, okay, well, you got an anger problem, so what makes you think I need to let you go home?
The next day, from a payphone in the hole, Denise calls home.
Hi, baby. What you doing? Hi, baby. Stinky, are you being good for Grandma? You're being good.
Denise's mother has been taking care of her daughter for the last 7 months.
I don't even think I can handle it anymore. I know she's not tatted on my chest for no reason.
It's It's 8:15 on the east side of Las Vegas, and Tony Collins is nervous. Less than 12 hours since her release from county jail, his client is late.
Her name is Tammy Collins, also known as Tess, and she's been a repeat client of ours. We have a history with her in a bail bonds business.
Tony may be legally blind, but he's perceptive of the criminal mind. A bail bondsman has to be.
To feel secure about a bond, we determine, I almost want to say from a gut feeling on occasions, that it's good bail or it's bad bail. Sometimes it's hard to tell.
If Tess Collins fails to turn herself into the court on her custody date, Tony's company is on the hook for $20,000. He charges his client a 15% premium on the bond.
The good in this is that my company can earn $3,000, and the bad is that it can lose $20,000. Tammy Collins is a flight risk because she has agreed to do prison time, and it seems like it would be very hard for somebody to go and turn themselves into the courts to voluntarily do prison time rather than to remain free.
Get it!
The biggest risk is that she's going to get out of jail and continue a life of crime.
I'm probably freaking all the dopings out, huh? They're probably tripping out going, oh, she's even got cameras with her. See? See? Wow. No one knows what's gonna happen with Tessa next.
She doesn't have a place, she doesn't have a job waiting for her. She essentially has nothing except for her crew, her circle of friends that are probably, involved in her past activities.
No update yet.
Tess is an hour late and counting. Las Vegas bail bondsman Tony Collins has begun to wonder about his client Tess Collins. No relation, except for a financial one. Tony wrote the court a $20,000 bond, guaranteeing Tess's appearance in court. The day after her release from county jail, she's nowhere to be seen.
Hi.
Hello.
I'm here to check in.
Better late than never.
What'd you do, gain some weight and get healthy and all that?
Yeah.
So, Tammy, tell me about what your good intentions are.
My good intentions are to get you paid off as quickly as possible, get a job, get to meetings, get my dogs fixed.
Tony's bail agent has compiled an extensive file on Tess's associates and addresses, a file that will be handed over to a bounty hunter should she jump bail. It's a file that must be updated weekly by Tess herself.
Previous address.
Just put the jail down as your previous address?
Hell yeah, you got all my other ones. My last address.
Damn, you're shaking, Tess.
Tess has had a rough night.
It was a good feeling getting out, but I was scared. It's paranoia. I haven't enjoyed yet.
She's convinced the cops or the feds are following her. If she gets arrested while out on bail, her plea deal for a 3 to 7 year prison sentence will be revoked.
I feel like they're trying to give me that 8 to 20 years. I feel like I could be being set up. I just want to hurry up and get almost back to jail, you know what I mean? Give me a hug.
Tess and Tony both know freedom for a recovering addict
Good luck with everything.
can be a dangerous commodity.
I'd like to see her become a success story in this. I think she's got a difficult road in front of her, though.
Back at the Clark County Jail, Pinky also has a hard road ahead of her, but at least she knows what's around the bend, her sentencing. After a week of isolation in the hole, Pinky lets loose. But in jail, no inmate, particularly one with a charge as heavy as Pinky's, should get too comfortable. You never know who's watching. Soon, she hears the muffled taunts. Her accuser's name is Erica. She grew up with Pinky and the woman she killed.
Okay, but you don't know what happened.
What was you thinking though? Why did y'all get in court for?
It's just stupid. Just stupid. Like, just, he say, she say.
So what? You gonna go and pull some stupid or some he say, she say? For real? How do you feel?
I don't know. Ask everybody else. They didn't see me in here. Like I'm nothing right now.
You feel remorse?
Dude, what the? Why would I not?
You don't know the smile on your
lights on that camera then.
Believe me, I know how you feel. That's my best friend. Believe me, I know.
Your best friend, my friend. You gotta think about that every day in your life now.
How much of the rest of Pinky's life will be spent in prison is the looming question. Her sentencing is fast approaching. And even if the court shows leniency, Erica warns, others may not.
She gonna get hers. She will. It's either she gonna get hers in that courtroom or she gonna get hers on that prison yard.
It's D-Day for convicted drug dealer Tess Collins. D for day in court. Her sentencing date has arrived.
I should go throw up or something. My plea agreement was stipulating that my bail was lowered so I could get my affairs in order, get my dogs taken care of, and I'm not ready.
Tess desperately wants to have her sentence postponed, but she's been unable to reach her lawyer.
What time is it? Oh, I better go sit in there.
And she can't wait any longer.
I'm gonna go sit in there. I don't care what anyone else thinks.
It's time to face the judge, and if her sentence is not postponed, she will not exit the courtroom the way she's come in.
Top of page 11, State Nevada v. Collins, Tammy Lee.
Tessa's lawyer has arrived in the nick of time. So has Emmett, an old flame rekindled.
This is the time set for entry of judgment and imposition of sentence. Is there any legal cause or reason why judgment should not be entered at this time?
She knows she's going to prison. She's asking until June the 16th or 15th so she can clean up the issues she has with her dog, get her life in order so she can go do her time.
Mr. Carroll?
Ms. Lee would oppose that. Would ask the court to proceed with the sentencing today.
It's not looking good for Tess.
All right, y'all.
For Denise Crockett's, the moment of truth has arrived. She's on her way to court for sentencing on a voluntary manslaughter charge.
Gotta make the best situation out of the worst ones.
Tie it up, ladies. Tie it up. Thank you very much.
You gotta remain happy, even though it's an emotional court. Well, should I say a sentencing?
She's cautiously optimistic.
I'm just trying to get nothing above 5. Nothing above 5. So if I get below 5, it's awesome.
Crockett's faces a minimum sentence of 2 to 5 years and a maximum of 8 to 20.
If she hits me with that 8 to 20, I wouldn't even know what I would do because I would not see my baby until she was, 11, 10 or 11. And that will seriously kill me. Like, oh, I couldn't even think about that. Just, oh man, I couldn't do it.
Sooner or later, somebody's gonna walk out these doors and hope to start a life over. They need something to work with. Some hope. Some hope. Hope.
Rosemary Vandekar's hopes will soon rest with a jury. Her murder case is going to trial. This may be the beginning of the end of hard time for her, or just the beginning. Across the street from the Clark County Detention Center, Tess Collins' fate hangs in the balance. All she wants is to borrow a little more time.
You can see that she has an extensive drug history.
Yes.
That's where we're...
In a last-ditch effort to postpone her sentence, Tessa's lawyer suggests going to prison now would impede his client's drug rehabilitation.
Okay. I will continue the sentencing until June 18th.
June 18th, 8:30.
Ms. Collins, you best be here.
I will.
Tess gets 2 more months.
Have a good day.
Thank you, you too.
Glad you're doing okay in the halfway house.
Yeah, it's okay. Ooh, look, I'm shaking. I am shaking. That was an act of God himself.
Tess is not staying in a halfway house. She's staying with Emmett, an ex-con. And while she has managed to stay out of trouble since bailing out of jail, no small feat for a career criminal, she hasn't stayed completely clean.
Oh, another beautiful day in paradise. I'm not gonna say I haven't slipped back into some of my old habits. I probably have. But have I gone overboard or completely crazy? No. Have I had to catch myself? Yep.
You gotta have a little bit of happiness before you go in.
Yeah.
For Tess, returning to prison is a sort of homecoming.
I've done so much time, it's ridiculous. And I always was happier in prison than I was on the street. It's more family. I always had a mom. Now I have kids. I don't mean my biological kids, I mean my prison kids. And these little convict children.
What's your greatest hope for these women?
To be moms.
Miss Crockett's?
Just good moms, daughters, good examples. To just take enough from this situation to make that gut-wrenching change that needs to be made for them to turn their lives around.
I've only been in here 9 months, but just this short a period of time, I've matured, but not enough. I understand my actions were very poor. I took my best friend's life. I fully hold myself accountable. I hold myself accountable for my actions every day. I ask God to forgive me for what happened. My heart still hurts. And I am truly deeply sorry.
Miss Crockett, any legal cause or reason why we should not proceed with sentencing?
No, ma'am.
Okay, Miss Crockett, in accordance with laws of the state of Nevada, this court does now sentence you as follows. This time the court's going to sentence you to 4 to 10 years in the Nevada Department of Corrections, plus a consecutive 4 to 10 years for the deadly weapon enhancement. And after considering the factors as enumerated in 193.165, subsection 1, the court's making a determination that that's an appropriate sentence.
Denise Crockett gets 8 to 20, the maximum sentence.
You gotta be kidding me. I swear to God, get me the out of this courtroom. Get me out of the courtroom, I swear to God. Some bitch ass. Man.
My dad left when I was 3 years of age. Dad? Hi son, how are you doing? Fancy doing a bit of travelling? This was going to be a really special trip. A once in a lifetime opportunity. Now we can kickstart a relationship.
I hadn't put to my son the real reason behind the trip. We were sitting on 20 kilos of cannabis. Trust your dad, don't you?
I thought, Dad, what have you got me into?